Okay, guys, we are live. It's Tuesday night. We're going to have a lovely little chat about the Reds as usual. And in the house, I've got a flat back four tonight. I'm going to play centre half and captain. I'm going to be captain tonight. Have the armband on. Beside me is Keith playing centre half. Ivan left back. I want you up and down the wing, Ivan, and Jackie Boy on the right wing. Jack McLFC on the right wing. So we're going to keep it tight. Hopefully, a clean sheet tonight.
We're going to need a keeper, Dave. We're in trouble.
Helen can be the goalkeeper. Helen's in the house already. Helen, you can play and goal. But we're going to have a chat about the Brentford game of the weekend. 3-0 win. It was great. Nice little boost for the Reds. And then, of course, the big one Thursday night. If it goes ahead, let's hope it goes ahead. It looks like it's going to go ahead. Second leg semi, 0-0 first game at Arsenal. Let's hope we can get through there. Into a cup final against Chelsea. It's a Mickey Mouse Cup. We all know that. It's a cup final. And I'd like to win it at this stage. Once you're in the semi, you want to win it. And then at Palace to finish. And we have a little break on Sunday against Palace at Selhurst, which won't be easy because, I mean, City, we don't want City running away with it just yet, do we? We want to stay in their coattails. I still think we've an outside chance, but realistically, it's going to be tough. And we've got to concentrate on finishing in the top four and maybe pick up a cup or two on the way. So, Keith, Ivan, Jackie Boy, how are you boys? All good?
All good.
Brilliant, yeah.
All good.
All good. Nice little chat we'll have tonight. I think Keith, out of the four of us, out of the defence tonight, but you only want to watch the game live on Sunday. I did a little radio trick, old 80s style, BBC Radio 5 live. And the rest of us, obviously, we all seen the goals. We've seen the highlights and stuff out of it. But it was just a good win, Keith. I mean, it was an important win. We had to win the game. It wasn't a fantastic performance. It didn't need to be probably in the end, but 3 points were the most important thing.
It didn't look like that. It didn't look like that up to 40 minutes. Comprehensive in the end, granted. But I think up until the point where we got that second goal, it was by no means, comprehensive by any means. I thought we were solid in the first half. We looked a lot more solid at the back, to be honest with you. Okay, it's Brentford and they're away from home, so definitely not the same side we played there. But I thought we dealt with pretty much most of what they threw at us when they did counter. We looked pretty solid. We looked good in midfield. And that's probably pretty much where it kind of stopped for the first 40 minutes, to be honest with you. Lots of, poor selection of passes, front three giving up possession quite easily. And wasn't a huge amount of continuity in our play. We looked rushed at times. We looked nervy up front. But listen, it's a brand new side, to be honest with you, when you look at it, in terms of that adhesion and continuity and rhythm, as Klopp says. So that was definitely not there for the first 40 minutes. I think after we got the second goal, there was a huge amount of swagger, when we look back to ourselves, to be honest with you. We could have got a few more goals, but it did take us that second goal and almost a comfort blanket and a lifting of the pressure before we started to play. If that had still been 0-0 going into 60 or 70 minutes, I would have feared for us running out of steam and running out of ideas, to be honest with you. But listen, we didn't. We got the goals, to be honest with you. And particularly particularly Ox's goal is a lovely goal, to be honest with you. And great delivery into the box and a lovely finish by him, to be honest with you. So listen, I walking away at the tail end of the match, you're kind of going, listen, that was encouraging. Particularly with the games you have coming up with the players that we're missing. But there's still you can still see that, there's still that, there's still that kind of soft center there that,
there's something missing.
I think it felt like a degree of, listen, it's always going to be there, but I don't know, there's almost a lack of confidence and there's a lack of, it was quite evident again in the first half, that lack of control, to be honest with you, we coughed up a lot of ball, to be honest with you, we seemed to rush passes, play the wrong pass, didn't seem to have that continuity that we had when we were really good and we just squeeze, right? Lots of transition, lots of turnover of play. But as I said, once we got the second goal, I thought we were kind of back to ourselves, never looked like Brentford were going to get back into the game, and we looked quite confident going forward. And as I said, could have got another two. But we need to build on that, and I think the next couple of performances need to kind of springboard off that. We need to be kind of scoring maybe a little bit earlier in matches, and then being able to relax into the game a little bit more and start to bring that confidence back. We should be converting an awful lot more of our set pieces and corners, lads. I don't know how many.
The corner kicks. I know some of the goals.
Force man. And the first one that makes its way to the back post, we score from it. You know what I mean? So it's, listen, there's stuff there to be worked on, to be honest with you. But walking away from it, it's a 3-0 win. it's a comfortable enough win, and we looked confident coming off the pitch, which was great to see.
It was a boost. It was actually a boost, I think, for us coming into the Arsenal game. Just before we start, On the Stoop, Brooklyn's Premier League fan show, a top-class Premier League fan channel in the US, of course. I'll have to get onto your show soon. They're brilliant stuff. Check them out, guys, on YouTube, because they're absolutely brilliant. Ravi is in the house. Ravi, John Moore, all the guys are in the house. Glad to catch you live, says The Stoop. Rewatch later. That has absolutely been. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the share. You know what to do. Jack, what did you think of the game? What was your take from the game? Any positives other than its 3 points?
Yeah, it was refreshing to see Curtis play after the shambles of a midfield performance and a whole team collective performance against Arsenal the game prior. But he adds that a bit of creativeness, a bit of something different compared to James Milner. Some games I'm shaking my head, and I think all of us are. James, if he was 26, would be perfect for this Liverpool system. But quite frankly, in this pace of a game in recent weeks, it's not his fault. He's 36. He's not up to the level that he once was about 3-4 seasons ago. Anyway, still a very good player. Don't get me wrong, we've seen some shocking midfielders in this Liverpool team and pre-Klopp anyway, but Curtis, especially when Jota did tuck in inside, Curtis got that ability to go out wide, drag out defenders as well. But I think with Curtis, he's still 20 years old, and we've spoken over last year, all of us, about him. Hopefully this year would have been his year, but obviously he was out due to with that eye injury in recent weeks. But coming in, I think he could make this midfield spot his own. Obviously, we don't know what Thiago's out with a different injury every single week by the sounds of it. And we're so heavily reliant on terms of a creative force. If it's not Naby or it's not Thiago, who else is it going to be? Because it's certainly not going to be Henderson. In recent weeks, his performances have dropped. But it's coincided with a lot of, as Keith alluded to, the confidence. The team's not playing with a lot of confidence, and I think we all seen Jürgen the back end of that game fist bump the crowd. It just shows how much emotion it was coming off him after the game. The crowd, I think, what I picked up from watching our match of the day and bits, the crowd was a bit nervous, where it has been in the last couple of weeks. They're not. They're 110%. Well, it's difficult when the team's going through a tricky period. But hopefully in the next couple of weeks that the crowd does very much turn. But that will coincide with obviously better on-field performances from the lads. But Curtis Jones, mate, and scored, and that reminiscence of obviously Robbo down the left. It's refreshing to see a Robbo assist. It was like typical Liverpool, get the ball out wide, cross it in, and Ox to finish it off, mate.
Ivan, we won't stay too long in the Brentford game, but what was you seen the goals, obviously, and a bit of the play. It was nice to see Katie Gordon get his first Premier League run out as well. He looks a prop. I know he should have scored, actually. He was 1-on-1.
Yeah,
he great to score, but he does look like Klopp really, trusted this young man.
Yeah, he does. I think it's good to see the goals, who they came from, from Fabinho, obviously cropping up with the last couple of weeks, and then Ox's goal was a cracker, and then
he got injured straight after he scored. Fuck's sake.
I think Firmino's pressing was great for the third goal, but I think to the point on the set piece, like we're still the highest score percentage from set pieces. But like the purpose of the high press is to get corners if you can, and the corners have been absolutely shocking, with the exception of the chance that Van Dijk had. It's exactly as Keith said. It's not getting past the first man. You're lumping it up into the air. It's easy for the keeper to collect. You need to be fizzing them. It's like Robertson's delivery to Chamberlain. It has to be that. It has to take the defenders out, and you need somebody coming into the box. I mean, we have the height in Van Dijk and Matip to do that. So there's work to be done there. And I think just on the confidence, like the confidence has drained. And that's why I think looking back at this, the 3-0 result is brilliant. And Jack's right there. Klopp was hopping off that pitch. He was buzzing. He'll take a lot from that. And hopefully we can bring it forward for the next two games.
As you say, I think it was just about confidence, getting the win, clean sheet, 3 goals. We know Salah, Mane and Naby or whatever aren't there. We're looking for goals. We're saying who's going to score. You know, we're looking for, as you say, 3 on you. Well, Fabinho's been scoring regularly recently, but I mean, for Ox to get a goal is great. But as I say, he got injured. It just sort of a dodgy challenge on him, and he's just so bloody unlucky. I'm hoping, I don't know if any of you's heard he'd be okay for Thursday night, but I haven't heard either way. But we really need him for Thursday night and Palace at the weekend. But listen, we got the points there.
We also need Jota to step up a little bit now. I think his performance of the last couple of games have been very, you know, like whatever about chances and chance conversion, but even holding up the ball and, you know, coughing up possession quite easily. You know, himself and Firmino should be really stepping into the breach there, to be honest, which is the senior strike partnership team, you know. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes over the next couple of weeks or so. But he does need to step up again. And in relation to Jones, not watching the match, you know, he was very in and out. You know, so if he wants to really start holding down that position, he needs to be involved a hell of a lot more, to be honest with you. You know, at times, you know, he was almost a passenger at times, you know, and he wasn't really shown for it. And when he did get on the ball, he was doing stuff that was very easy and very simple, and not necessarily, you know, busting a gut. So I think there's definitely an opportunity there, as you said, Jack, for him to step into that. But he needs to do a lot more work and get a lot more involvement, you know, for 90 minutes. And in the position he's playing, and he should be, to be honest with you, you know. So, so listen. We'll move on. We'll move on from Brentford. Certainly a very positive end to the match, to be honest with you. And the lads look like they were buzzing afterwards. Hopefully that carries through to Thursday if it goes on, and Palace the weekend.
Before we move to the Arsenal game, what did you think of Agent Rafa getting the sack at Neverton?
Too soon. He hadn't relegated them. So
yeah, it's been beautiful, and we've just been overs, been looking at memes. Sorry, boys, my dad said hello to you all anyway. Popped his head in and chat as well. But yeah, it's been amazing. I've seen rumours, links with Tom, Dick and Harry. Literally everyone. Mourinho, is it? Yeah. Martinez, who wants to go back down like he did with Wigan anyway.
Lampard.
Yeah, but their fan base is split, gauging from what I've been speaking to on Blue mates. There's 50% of them want something, 50% don't want. Literally, Rafa could have won them the league and they still would have despised the man. And then the other half would have been like, sounds, get behind him. But it's who, for the next couple of managers, they're just going to be stuck in limbo. It's same old Everton for the last 10 years since Moyes has left.
The money they've spent and stuff, I mean, you know, it's crazy, isn't it? It just shows you how it can go wrong, doesn't it? And they must be looking over Stanley Park going, those bastards over there. You know what I mean? They must be, have to be. Jack, you know, you only live across the bleeding road, and your mates are Everton fans, so he must be fucking terrible to go out for a drink with.
Yeah, no, they're usually balling anyway. Sorry, boys. Anyway, it's not like the signing anyone either, so you can't talk about transfers with them. But yeah, I know it's got a lot of respect for Everton. I know some people just absolutely despise the club, but living in the city, we do love to wind them up. But it's an absolute joke of a club at the minute.
It's more United I despise than Everton, to be fair. I mean, Everton aren't a real threat. I suppose United aren't a threat at the moment either, but you know what I mean. Historically is what I mean.
I dislike Everton, but not to the sheer extent that sometimes you see on social media.
I know. But it's a football match, for fuck's sake.
The bigger issue is like the owner there is a complete basket case. You know, it's the worst. It's the worst type of setup where you've just got this head case of an owner that the likes of Ken Wright and others are banking on him building the new stadium, and he's got ultimate power. And if you say boo to him, you're gone. Like Rafa, should he have gone there in the first place? I don't know. With all of the history that went behind him, like I think as Jack says, half the fan base probably behind him, half them not. If he had won them a trophy, I tell you, they'd be grateful. And I was reading a statement today. Rafa completely believed he could have got them out of that if the injuries weren't as bad, and if he had time to get some players in. Like the only money he had was to buy your man Damari Gray, and he's turned out to be a really smashing player. I think he had $2 million to spend on him. So like I think Rafa, this doesn't look good for Rafa. This is another kind of failed project on his CV in a long list of them with kind of Chelsea and Inter and Real, and he's so principled. He falls out with people. I don't think he takes advice from people, and I don't think he's coming out of this smelling too well.
No, listen, at this stage of his career, he's probably been steadily building up his severance pays as well.
Oh,
so
10 million,
10 million, isn't it? Oh, he's happy.
So
ridiculous. It's absolutely
ridiculous. To be honest with you, he's no fool, Rafa, and he knew. He was going in there, and as soon as he hit a bad run of results, they'd be baying for blood. To be honest with you, so. I don't think even the initial bounce that they had, when he went there, first of all, he still didn't get 100% buy-in from the fans. He probably,
he was never going to get it.
He was never going to get it.
Never going to get it. He's a Liverpool legend, but you know what I mean. Champions League, FA Cup.
Still is.
But he isn't. Well, he'll always be a Liverpool legend. I mean, that's what he said. Of course he will be. But what I'm saying is, he won't get it at Leicester. Just no chance. As you say, Jack, there's probably 15-20% fan base. They're hardcore Everton fans who just, no matter what he bleeding does, they won't like him. That's it.
He'll be celebrating with a 10 million and with Liverpool pajamas tonight.
Agent Rafa. So obviously we don't know what's going to happen at Everton, but big game Thursday, lads. We'll move on to the League Cup semi, second leg. We didn't do it at Anfield. Minamino at that chance right in injury time. I mean, it would have made a difference. Even taking a 1-0 there, I think, is a big difference. I still think we could beat them. We don't know what team they have. They've issues. They've a lot of injury issues. Probably the right time to be playing Arsenal, to be fair. But I still think they'll give us a game at the Emirates. It won't be a walkover. Depends on what team we pick. I think the midfield is key for us. We got to pick the right bloody midfield. A strong, energetic midfield. Keith, first to you. What would you go with Thursday night?
We've got Palace then the weekend, haven't we? Palace away
on Sunday, yeah. Yeah, I still think you've got to go strong Thursday. I mean,
no, absolutely. He's going to have to go. He's going to have to go strong with this close to a final now. To be honest with you, I suppose it'd be interesting to see. It's probably going to be somewhere between if Oxes looks like he's out. He might look for a little bit more control in the middle of the park. Yeah. I think Fabinho starts. I think Henderson starts, and then it's a
toss-up.
It's a toss-up on the left-hand side there, to be honest with you. And then we probably got two of the starters up front, and then a toss-up for the third one, to be honest with you, up front. So it'd be interesting to see what he mixes and matches on that side. So I'd expect him to start Firmino. I expect him to start Jota. Be interesting to see what he does. I'm sure he'll keep with Kelleher and goals, to be honest with you. And then what does he do in terms of the back four? He might mix up centre half as well, position. Yeah. I'd like to see Tsimikas start, to be honest with you. All right, Robbo got an assist in the last match. Yeah, but I'd like to see Tsimikas start.
Would you rest him for the Palace game then? Rest Robbo for the Palace game?
No, I'd play Tsimikas on Wednesday. Yeah. On Thursday.
But I actually think he'll play Alisson. I think
you play Alisson as well, yeah.
I think he's a shoe-in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He won't mess around.
I don't know. I think he may stick to some of his principles that he uses right the way through all of the.
Well, didn't he play Alisson? But did he not play Alisson the other week? He played Alisson against Arsenal in the 0-0.
Yeah.
Because it was a semi. I think he'll stick with Alisson. I really do. Matip, Van Dijk, Trent. I think he'll stick with the back four. Trent, Robbo. I don't think he's changing any of that. Midfield is the big question for me. Fabinho, Henderson. It's a huge game. I mean, you don't want to fall at the last hurdle with a final. We could beat Chelsea in a final. I think we need some. I think Ox probably would have been a shoe-in, to be honest with you, if he had been fit. But that doesn't look like he's going to be fit. I do think we need some degree of creativity. We're not necessarily getting that from Henderson at the moment. We're definitely not getting it from Fabinho. We need some degree of creativity from the middle of the park down the left-hand side. So it could very well be Jones given another chance. And be interesting to see how Harvey comes through, whether or not he makes the squad. I think it's a bit early, Gio. Throwing him in that quick.
They're talking about him. So
I'd seen him today. He looks happy enough. But maybe even if he made the squad for the Sunday game and didn't even come on, but he was on the bench, it'd be a big lift for the bloody squad.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
you know what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah, make the squad. Yeah, true. Ravi, I love the Irishness in you guys. coming out when you speak passionately about Liverpool. There you go, Jack. You're Irish tonight, right? That's it.
I might as well be. No,
You might as
that's
well
the
be,
UK
yeah.
can't understand me.
Your
so.
great grandfather probably was. Jack.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I think he was
Liverpool
Scottish,
over
actually.
there.
Was he? Was he Scottish?
My
Macintosh.
dad's side, my mum's was Irish, yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Yeah,
See?
Irish.
There you go, baby.
We got that.
Guys, so Ivan, what would you have to go strong Thursday night?
Strong, and I think you'll see this as 2 games. You know, with the FA Cup the following week, full week off. You know, rest up. They'll probably play a relatively weakened side, probably similar to the Shrewsbury team that played against Cardiff. So I think go strong. They'll be pumped from the win at the weekend. Yeah. And I think we'll go at them, and it suits us playing at home. It's kind of for Arsenal to kind of come at us, and that plays into our hands. And I think we just go for it, and it'll be a strong team. It's surprising with the couple of injuries that we have, how thin on the ground the kind of names are when you're thinking about what he's going to do. He doesn't have a whole lot of options, you know. And I think if we can buy another week to get Elliott back in, Thiago, I'm not sure how far Origi's off. I think it'll be a similar team to Saturday, and I think it'll suit us, you know, playing away with a bit more onus on Arsenal to have a go at us.
Well, I mean, the thumbnail to this video is actually called a vital week for Liverpool, because I think the next 2 games are huge. If we can get anyway, it doesn't even matter if it's penalties. Once you get through to the final and beat Palace away at Selhurst on Sunday, we'll have the AFCON boys back, you know, for the next league game at least anyway. And all that hullabaloo that's been going on Twitter, we're missing players, we're missing this, will be blown out the window. But we got to win the next 2 games for that to be, you know, come into play. So, Jack, obviously you go strong. You think Thursday, try get into the final, and then obviously worry about Palace Sunday.
Yeah, I think the cream will rise to the top eventually, mate. We'll show our class. Come Thursday night, they've bottled it this weekend with them.
Yeah, with
the nonsense that's going on, the football club, the nonsense rules. But yeah, the quality within the squad, as we've already discussed, again, we showed it against Brentford, but we've got confidence in our young lads. If it's Jones, if it's Elliott, if he somehow miraculously even plays 20 minutes, comes on as a sub. I think if you're involved with training, then you're very capable to at least play 15, 20 minutes, especially with the lads. And it's all right. So we couldn't do it, but if you're a professional football league, you'd probably train for 2 days and then still be on the bench.
Well, you know, Klopp doesn't like eases you back, and I'm talking about easing you back. Every player in a long-term injury, he never throws them back. He just doesn't.
Yeah. It's trying to stop him though, Dave, and you just have to look at the lad. He's ready and ready to go.
Klopp will stop him. Don't be worried.
Yeah.
But
we should especially when you go to the Emirates as well, though, can't you? You can turn the advantage of playing away. If you can get a nice early goal, you can turn that crowd instantly. Pipe them down. That's something that we didn't do in recent weeks when we have been playing away, most importantly. But yeah, fully confident in our lads, and we've got enough quality in that. Regardless if it's Minamino, we've all got to back him. He's still capable, and fully believe it'll be potentially the Minamino show again. Hopefully gets us a couple of goals, and then
what's the word on Origi? I think we've missed Origi from the bench. It just gives you an extra option, doesn't it? Just last 15, 20. I don't know if I think he's still out. Some mystery illness with Origi. What's the story with him? Do you know?
I think it was a back or something, wasn't it? But I think it's new. We've all been waiting for Newcastle to bid 60 million on me for them. Because if they're buying Chris Wood
we'll swap him for Saint Maxima. We'll swap him for Saint Maxima. Straight swap, baby. Lovely.
But yeah, now we miss Origi in these games, especially cup games. We all know. Jürgen knows. He come out a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? And say he's basically the second most clinical finisher in the club, and we've seen it this season when he come on against West Ham, the back end of that game, somehow miraculously nearly got a point out of that game from nothing. So
I think if we get through Thursday and Sunday and then the boys are back, we're doing pretty all right.
Follow me. That's what I'm saying. That's all I can wish for. I don't care how we win the next 2, even if it's on penalties or last minute VAR decision against Arsenal. Because it could go right. It was 0-0. It's the goal.
When's the next league match after Palace? What date is the next league match after Palace?
It's a midweek game. I think.
So we come back for the FA Cup at the weekend game, isn't
I
it?
think it's a Wednesday or a Thursday. Yeah, the FA Cup is the weekend, and then I think there's a
I
Wednesday.
think it's
or
a
Thursday
home game. Is it Southampton?
Southampton, it is. Yeah.
I think it's
What's the
Anfield,
date on that?
Southampton, is it? Jackie's on the Google there.
Yeah, no, it's we've got Palace on the 23rd of Jan. That's after the Arsenal game this Thursday.
Yeah.
And then obviously we mentioned Cardiff at home on the 6th. And then we've got Leicester away on the 10th.
Whoa.
And then Burnley on the 13th.
That's tough enough now. That's a bit of a tougher game. You don't want to be coming back to either, is it?
No, Leicester. Well, that's even in that game.
Last match in AFCON is on the 6th, isn't it? And that's the third and fourth playoffs and the final both on the same day. So
yeah, well, that's if they get to the final. I mean, Egypt haven't looked great. I know Salah scored the weekend, but
Keita scored today.
Who?
Keita scored an absolute cracker.
He's been having a great bleeding tournament. He has. He's been having a great tournament.
Is he playing Cam? What is he playing a bit further up the pitch?
Looks like he's playing around the 10 or whatever.
Yeah. That's where he used to play for the Harvey Leipzig.
Like you'd hope, in one way, you'd hope one of them win it because they'll come back with a bounce in their step. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think
probably won't be available for that. I doubt they'd be risked that midweek match though if they go through to the 6th. That's the thing, you know.
Yeah.
Back on the 7th if they win it, or second back 7th, 8th match. Don't think they make that, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So we need them going out a little bit earlier.
Would there be COVID issues as well? You know, coming back
Hasn't been so far, really, has there?
No, but I mean, coming in from Africa, would you have to be? Well, I don't presume they're tested.
Once they're vaccinated, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's 5 days or something. It's been sound, isn't it?
Sorry, the Leicester game is at Anfield. Of course it is. Should they beat us? They beat us at the King Power, obviously. That was one of our only 2 losses of the bloody season, guys. It does sound weird when you say we've only lost 2 games, actually, in all games. Leicester, West Ham. That's it.
I just hate playing Burnley, boys. I just can't be honest with that. I can't even. It's on the 13th of February, and still can't even be bothered playing Burnley. I honestly hope they get relegated this season.
Guys, can't wait for that game. Jeez. Fuck's sake. But look, I think we'll beat Arsenal. I think if we obviously play a strong team, which I think he will. Dave issues, I think you throw the players up into the air and you don't know what team they're going to pick. I think it lands, whatever way it lands, is the team they pick. It could be a lot of bullshit they're talking about, thinking their game's not going ahead. It's sort of eased down a little bit now, wasn't it? It was all over the news yesterday. Arsenal thinking they're going to...
I'll try and find the tweet, Dave. There was nothing I'm going to... By one of the journals. Yeah.
I think the kind of focus on it, where there's this kind of potential allegation of cheating now, has maybe marked a few clubs' cards, you know, where they've kind of gone, really, you know, there's the integrity of the game here coming into it. Like you can't just pull again. Like if you're playing junior football in Ireland and you can't field a team, you have to give 2 weeks notice, right? You can't just ring up 2 days before and go, lads, we can't play next week.
Yeah,
I'm missing a couple of players.
That used to happen in the 90s now. Will you stop?
The only thing about it is that, you know, there's been precedent set, you know, up and down the league.
We're in a pandemic as well.
You know, so they've allowed it now. They, at some point in time, you're right, Ivan, they're probably going to have to put a marker down to say, listen, lads, enough's enough. You know, like they're putting players out on loan left, right, and centre. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not even trying, to be honest with you. They're not even trying to, irrespective of whether they're up to the grade or not. You know,
that's exactly that was the point on Twitter. I don't know whether you've seen it on Twitter. Some journalist was saying, what is the point of having all these multi-million-pound academies with young lads that you're just saying, right, well, we can't field the first team, but we've got about 20 lads there that have smelt a bit of the first team, but they could play that game. But no, they don't. We played a Mickey Mouse team, remember, against Aston Villa because we were away at the Club World Cup. We couldn't play at the same time. And they beat us. What was it, 5-1 or something like that, 5-0. I mean, it can be done. I know a semi-final might be different. What?
The FA Cup team that we put out, that's another good. I know that, like, listen, the lads are quality, right? But we couldn't get out of that game, no matter what. The FA Cup rules state that you must field a team regardless of their age. That's the integrity. Yeah. COVID is one thing. Bending the rules, breaking the rules is an entirely different thing, you know.
Well, as you said, the problem with us wasn't injuries, was players away in AFCON. That obviously reduces the player pool you have. But the thing for Liverpool was the COVID test results, either false positive or whatever they were. But they were done by an independent company. It wasn't Liverpool fucking doing them or reading them. You know what I mean? And the way Klopp said it in the interviews, I know it sounded weird. There was loads of false, you know, as if to say, we knew they were. How you don't know if they're positive. You don't know if they're false positives until you've got to do a second test. You know what I mean? So A lot of the Arsenal fans
Listen,
went crazy on that.
we've gone into this competition since Klopp arrived, literally just fielding kids.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and we continue to field kids right the way through it, to be honest with you. Even when last round, when all the boys are pretty much putting out their strong side, you know, we're putting out. So it doesn't wash. If he could field the team and get through a round, whether we're in or we're out, he'd field the team, to be honest with you, because I think he sees it as a distraction compared to what he wants to do, you know.
Keith, what he did with the quarterfinal when he played a week inside against Leicester at Anfield and we were 2-0 down. I mean, I don't think he would have been crying if he lost that game. He wasn't crying. Now, it turned around second half and it was brilliant. Minamino injury time. But what I'm saying is, there's a risk when you play against a good Premier League side. There was always a risk there you're going to lose that game. I thought we would have lost that game, to be fair.
It was the away fans that made Klopp change that decision and nonsense. The
chanting,
he sat there for a good 45 minutes and everyone in the stadium was like, what the like, he just lob on the main three lads and then Jota and the boys sorted it out. And then, as we said, after our post-match, Jota's just giving it to the Leicester fans.
It was beautiful. Incredible. It was brilliant.
It was a great game, though. It was a brilliant game, but I don't care what. As I say,
they're going to want it because they look like, you know, it's going to be a very inexperienced team that they put out, to be honest with you, you know. So
who, Arsenal?
Yeah.
Well, we got to beat them then, don't we?
If you were to believe, now listen, it would be interesting to see if the decision goes against them, who miraculously, you know, makes.
That's what I mean. Will it be bullshit? So. Your man Zach is not available, obviously, now, is he?
No, he's suspended, sent off against us. So they didn't play the weekend.
Sorry, he was sent off. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Listen, I'd rather he played him because I think he's a liability anyway, isn't he? He really is a fucking liability. He is. But we can't really, he's talk really about the Palace game. It's so far away. But I just think if we can win these two, boys, get into a little final to look forward to, bit of silverware. Chelsea in the final won't be easy, of course, but Wembley Cup final, get the league game, Palace away. I just think we'd be in a great place. I know the league still seems far away, but all we can do is just stay on City's coattails. Just keep winning. You never know. We have to play them at the Etihad. We'd have to beat them there to have any bloody chance. I still think there's a smidge, you know. I'm being realistic here. For us to win the league now, we're going to need a lot of things to go for us.
Yeah, we need a few things to like, and I don't think it's a lot. Like we have to win our game in hand. We have to beat them, and then we have to rely on two teams taking points for them. And that's not a dramatic leap. You know, you think United playing them, they'll have a Leicester or a Spurs or a Burnley or someone like that who'll just sit in. They'll drop
Villa last game of the season, right?
Stevie G.
Yeah, we'd have to beat them, and their blip would have to start pretty soon.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You know, if they get through February, coming into March with that gap.
But Keith, if it comes down to 3 points or 4 points,
that's nothing. Game on,
that
baby.
is nothing.
They don't look like they're gonna.
No, they don't. They don't.
You know,
absolutely, they don't.
But I think we can get it to 5. We can personally get it to 5. If we win our game in hand, it's 8. If we beat them, it's 5. So we can do that much. Then you're saying you need 2 other teams or maybe 2 draws and a win. You know, a loss.
And we would also need to be.
We have to be perfect.
We have to be
perfect. But I think I kind of like that. You know what I mean? Because it puts the onus back on City. Then you know, like for us, it's if we get it, brilliant. For City, it's theirs to lose now. So I think the pressure comes back on them to a certain extent.
That'd make it more beautiful, boys, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine if we turn that round. That'd absolutely send their heads absolutely wet.
Baby, you're killing me.
They had a little Gary Neville moment there.
Just before we go as well, we'll have a little talk about him. I know he divides the fan base, but Coutinho, it was nice to see against United. Come on, lads. I mean, they're 2-0 up. They're loving it. They're tweeting. Maguire's defrosting in the kitchen. I mean, they're loving it. 2-0 up. It's over. I go down for the Chinese. I come back. It's 2-1. Game on, baby. And Coutinho comes on, and they were 2-0 down in 68 minutes. Got an assist. Now, I don't know how much of an assist it was, but great to get 2-2. Was it Coutinho?
It's a pass, you know. Yeah, so
great start from him. I actually felt a little sorry for him. I know he left the club. We've got a lot of money for him, lads. I think we got Van Dijk. We got Van Dijk and someone else out.
Alisson.
But Alisson, we got players for him. But doing it against United was sweet, wasn't it?
Oh, superb.
Fucking absolutely sweet, baby.
Listen, I was tweeting and I was talking to people and I was just going, what I wouldn't give for a 35-yard fucking Coutinho banger in the last minute. And then he scores a tap and it's like, that'll do.
Do you know what? Everybody was saying he would score. He would score either the winner or the equaliser. It was written in the stars, as they say. But guys, I think we leave it there. We're 35 minutes in. I enjoyed that. Obviously, Thursday night, we're hoping we can get through into a final. Nice little final in Wembley against Chelsea. And then on to Palace the weekend, and just a nice little rest back for the FA Cup, and it won't stop after that. I think it's full throttle the whole way, more or less. Champions League, it all comes back. Well, listen, we're not in a bad place. The doom and fucking gloom that's been around Liverpool this season, never mind the back end of last season, which we pulled miracles out of, had to get third place, to be honest.
They were looking at the points tally, say, from a couple of seasons, like the year of the Invincibles, the year we won the league, the year United won the treble in '99, and like we're head and shoulders ahead. You know, like we're unfortunately living in a world where Man City exists.
It's 90+ points now to win the league. That's what you're looking at.
I said it before loads of times, even to City fans, and I know Pep thinks this as well. Pep thinks Liverpool in the last 3-4 seasons since Klopp came in has made them that good. Because they've had to be that good to win. 80+ points wouldn't have won it. We were unlucky that year. I thought we should have won it that year. The famous Company goal against Leicester. I think they won 14 or 15 in a row. We only needed one slip up out of that. They didn't do it.
And so did we, to be honest with you.
And so did we. And the following year, we blasted them and won the Champions League. I mean, it's just been dream.
I think when you're winning it, though, and whatever, even about a local club, like, sure, and I'm sure the City fans are delighted, or City fans and players are delighted to win the league. But as a football fan, to see a team do it where there isn't limitless money, and where you've bought and you've turned players into better players, and you've turned the team into a better team because of that, and you've had challenges, and for a period we've had a core of maybe 12, 13 players that we relied on, certainly for the Champions League and the Premiership when we won it. That to me is success. That's
I know that's an organic success base. That's organically grown. Whereas, like, your little back garden, your little plot in the garden, and you're eating your organic vegetables, and your man next door's buying them in Aldi, and he's just fucking them into the fridge. You know what I mean? So, like, that's basically what we are, and we're enjoying eating it. We're sitting there eating it, loving it. But it'd be nice that you drink it out of a nice little cup as well, though, wouldn't it? Woo! Silver or gold, you know what I mean? But guys, I enjoyed that. The back four, we kept a clean sheet today.
Thought so.
2-0 against
Arsenal. Love a
clean
sheet.
Love the old clean sheets. Didn't get many of them years ago. But anyway, right, lads.
Especially after a load of Guinness and a curry. It's always
fucking sheets after that. 5-star. Okay. Ivan, Jack, Keith, back to flat back four. We kept the clean sheet. I'm going 2-0 for the Reds just to get through. And we'll talk about Palace probably on Friday night. We'll do something for that. Guys, in the comments, absolutely brilliant. Helen, Eamon, Liz, Cedric. There's been so many in the Stoop. Check them out on YouTube as well. Absolutely brilliant. Liz Golden, John Moore, Eamon Kelly, Red Javi. Who else is in here? Ravi, Eamon Kelly. Did I say him? Anfield Lark. There's been loads of people in here tonight. These have been absolute legends. Thank you very much. Hit the like, hit the share. We'll be back soon. Stay safe. Liverpool to get the final. Let's go. Cheers, guys.